Alright, so starting with the legendary Suke, which honestly I just don't know how I managed to obtain this. My luck is just insane. And the thing is, I'm just not worthy of eating this fruit myself, so I'm gonna give it to my friend. I just don't deserve it. Oh, don't steal, no. Oh, don't tell me you stole. No! Yeah, Suke isn't that bad. I know everyone hates it and it is the worst fruit, but like it's not completely useless. Okay, so rock throw is a thing. So how does rock throw work? Can you aim at NPCs and stuff? And if you turn invisible, they can't attack you, right? Turn invisible and see what happens? Yep. If you turn invisible, an NPC won't attack you and they can't see you. So you can throw a rock and then just turn invisible and they won't be able to do anything to you because they won't see that you're there. So it's actually, yep, see, as soon as he turns invisible, they stop attacking. So it's actually really useful. So honestly, I know it's the worst fruit and no one wants it, but if you get Suke, it's not the end of the world and it will help you farm. When it comes to PvP, Suke is really annoying to fight because it's difficult to fight something you can't see, but there are ways around it. If you have a fruit that has big AoE, like Gura, Pika, like pretty much all the Logias, it's really not an issue. You can also see the Suke user by activating observation haki. So it's only an issue if you don't have any observation haki or you don't have a fruit with AoE attacks. Overall, Suke gets a 2 out of 10. I'm sorry, but it would be so unfair if we're allowed to keep Suke for that long. Okay, here you go. The first thing I find really good about Barrier is that it can deflect cannonballs from guns and bazooka NPC. And if you farm at Marineford, for example, you just know how annoying those NPC are. So being able to deflect those and not get flung all over the place every time you get shot, it's just something really nice to have. Also, farming bosses with a barrier user friend is extremely helpful because they can just trap them, and then you can just spam all your attacks while the boss is trapped. Bari is also great for protecting your friends. If you're low HP, you're about to get gripped, your friend can create a barrier around you and just let you heal while they continue fighting. The only issue with it is that it drains stamina kind of fast, but it's still really helpful. In terms of PvP, Barrier is an excellent counter to Pika and Magma. It will deflect and block almost every attack. As you can see, that dungeon boss is using the Jewels of Light move, but my barrier friend isn't getting hit a single time because it's all being deflected. Overall for Bari, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's a really good rare fruit and kind of underrated, not gonna lie. Okay, so next is Bomu. Bomb is really overpowered in PvP if you know how to use it well, because you can do an infinite combo by using the bomb grip or grab move. I'm not quite sure what it's called. Oh my god, oh, okay. I took like 400 damage from that. Bomb also became a lot more popular than it used to be recently. Because of what it can do in dungeons. A lot of people use Bomb just for dungeons because of the self-destruct skill. The self-destruct skill depends on your HP. So if you give yourself a ton of HP and then use a self-destruct skill, you can nearly one-shot or sometimes one-shot the boss if you're solo. I was thinking of giving Bomb a 6 just like Barrier, but it's superior in PvP and allows you to do infinite combos, and that one-shot self-destruct thing definitely deserves a higher score. So I'll go with a 7 for this. There's one last thing that I forgot to mention. So Bomb has a hyper armor skill. And what that is, it's a skill where you're invincible while you use it, basically. So I can use like the Gura waves, for example, which is supposed to be pretty much an unavoidable skill. Its AoE is huge, but if he uses his hyper armor skill right before the waves are about to hit and he times it right, he'll take no damage at all. Okay, so next we're trying out Mero. Yeah, it's beautiful. Here you go. Okay. So Mero is a devil fruit that's very PvP oriented. A lot of the attacks stun you, they turn you to stone. But the thing is, the stun doesn't last long at all, and you can dodge really easily just by geppoing. If you get close to the arrows, for example, when they're using it, like none of them will hit you. The fruit by itself isn't that great. It's something that you need to do combos with. If you know really good combos with Mero, like with sword, maybe the trident and stuff, then you can make it good. But objectively speaking, it's not good by itself. Like, it's just way too easy to dodge. It does have a good hyper armor move. Just like Bomb does, you press C and do the kick thing and take no damage, so that's good. But my main issue with Mero is that other than PvP, there's not really anything you'd use it for. Like, it's not that helpful for farming because you're going to use the stuns, and in like barely a second the NPC will no longer be stunned anymore anyway, and I just don't see it being that great in farming. And PvP isn't the only thing I consider when it comes to fruits. Like, in terms of fun and utility and stuff, zero, like nothing. I mean, there's no travel, there's no special feature. Like barrier, you know, it can deflect attacks and stuff, it can protect your allies. Bomb has that special one-shot move that's really helpful in dungeons. But with Mero, it's just, nah, stun, 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 nothing else. So for that reason, I'm just going to give it a very average score of 5 out of 10. Okay, so now we're looking at our first Logia. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. You really need to stop whining about the nerf that Ice got. It's not that bad. Ice used to be really overpowered because of how long the freeze used to last. If you froze someone, that was basically GG. They couldn't escape and you could just infinite combo forever. And yeah, the fight would be in the bag. So they nerfed the freeze time. But honestly, it's not that bad. They made it go from disgustingly overpowered to just overpowered. It's still a really good fruit. Ice also has loads of really useful features. For example, if he uses the pheasant beak attack and I'm doing M1s, he can slide on the ice to escape the M1s. Really cool feature. As an ice user, you can walk on water, and if that doesn't excite you, well, you also have the option of using an ice bike that goes really fast, and you can use it on land as well as on water, and it drains 0 stamina. I know this is random, but I discovered another really cool feature of ice with my friend, and it's that you can give your boat an ice trail. It has to be a small boat, and I don't know if it works on all of them. I imagine it might work with Striker, and maybe the cheapest boat at Starter Island, the rowboat, whatever it's called, and perhaps the hoverboard. It doesn't do anything helpful or anything, but it's just cool, you know, it's just a cool feature. And don't even get me started on how helpful ice is for farming bosses. I'm telling you, the nerf isn't even an inconvenience. Please do good trades for ice. It's a very good fruit, and honestly, I can't find anything bad to say about it. 10 out of 10. If you're still whining about a nerf, honestly I don't know what to say. Okay, Goro. So Goro is a devil fruit that's really easy to do combos with. You just attack, stun, and then attack again. Really simple. It's really easy to escape once you get knocked back, but Goro has really good damage at the same time. Ow, ow. The main issue with Goro is that it's good for combos but not good for spamming. If you want to farm a sea beast, all you can use is Z and X. E is useless because it's close range. You can use R, but it will teleport you to the sea beast, which will make you get damaged by the sea beast, and then you have to get away, which will waste your stamina, so it's just not worth it. You can use Rygo, but that's going to drain a ton of stamina, and then Rygo's going to be on cooldown for ages. So the only attacks you can use without wasting too much stamina and keeping a safe distance are Z and X. Being able to only use 2 moves is really tedious, and it's most likely why I barely ever got any drops from the sea beasts, even though I farmed them for like hours. And the stamina drain, oh man, all you have to do is look at my stamina and you'll know exactly what I'm gonna say. And finally, in terms of mobility, it's also very meh. Like, the Q dash is pretty useless. It barely has any range, to be honest. And if you want to travel somewhere, you're better off just using Geppo, because you can use the R move, the flash smash, that teleports you, but it has a bit of a wind up. It's just a waste of time and stamina. So, yeah. It's not that bad though. I think I'll give it a 7. Okay, so the first thing I've got to say about Magu is that it's amazing for ship farming. Most likely the best fruit in the game when it comes to farming ships. When it comes to normal ships, you just need to use 2 attacks and it's done, it's over. And you can't drown because you have Magu walk. And Magu succeeds where Goro fails. Yes, just like Goro, you can only use the ult and Z and X, but the cooldowns and stamina drains are way better. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the Magu Z skill cooldown compared to the Goro Z skill cooldown. You can literally use the Magma Fist 3 times before the Goro Z skill cooldown ends. On top of having a very short cooldown, it will only cost you 45 stamina, which is great. Meanwhile, Goro... yeah. Magu is also really good for farming. You can just use the magma swamp and go around in circles around the NPC and they'll just all die, they'll just all burn. And if that's on cooldown, every magma move does high damage anyway, and burning damage too. So NPC will die to Magu really fast. So yeah, Magu, very good for farming. When it comes to PvP, you really don't need that much skill to do well with Magu. As long as you get a decent amount of hits, you're gonna do a lot of damage, because Magu is just a naturally high damage dealing fruit. And then there's the burn damage added on top of that. You can get hit like 3 times, and you'll lose like 300 HP. Magu is a really good, spammable, high damaging devil fruit overall. The only area where I find that it's lacking is in speed and mobility, like there's no dash skill or high speed travel or anything like that. And as someone who used Pika a lot, I could definitely feel the difference when I switched to Magu. But overall, it's a really solid, good low gear devil fruit, 9 out of 10. The first impression I was given of Zushi from this Zushi user was not a good one. He explained that the damage scaling is pretty damn bad, as in right now he has 85 fruit stat and I take around 85 damage, but if he had 400 fruit stat I take like 100. And then there's the fact that the meteor skill won't work inside closed spaces, and that'll be really annoying if you're fighting in the Sky Island Coliseum. And then there's the fact that you can basically dodge the entire ultimate move just by using Geppo, kind of disappointing. For some reason that move does work inside, so I guess that's kind of good. Gravity does have a few useful features though. You can attack while flying, you can fly with barrels, it's the only fruit that can do that right now. You can also pull players off of their boats and drown them. And of course there's the speed buff it gives to the hoverboard. Unfortunately it just falls flat in pretty much every other area. You know, in PvP you can just dodge every attack easily. And when it comes to farming, yes, the skills have good AoE, but they'll fling the NPC. And it's just not that amazing. I'll put it above Bari because it has more useful features, I guess. And I gave Bari a 6. I'm not gonna give it a 7 though, because I gave Bomu a 7. And Bomu is actually pretty good in PvP and has that one-shot dungeon skill. So I'm gonna put Gravity between Bari and Bomu. So a 6.5. So next is Mera. And honestly, I find Mera kind of underrated. Like, I don't see that many good trades for it, but it's actually really good. First of all, it has one of the best first skills. So the Z skill, Hiken, Fire Fist of Mera, has more AoE than a Magma Fist. It can affect pretty much all the NPC at once, depending on where you're farming of course. It does burning damage too, but it's only just slightly weaker than Magma. The main downside of Mera though is that it only has 2 guard breakers. The first guard breaker will only work at close range, and the second guard breaker is the final Enkai attack, the ultimate, which will cost a lot of stamina. On the bright side, on top of Enkai doing really high damage, the burning damage is also extremely high and lasts a very long time. I'm taking 10 damage per burn right now, and that's with my armor on. And to make up for its lack of guard breaking, it's extremely overpowered in closed, tight spaces. If you're a Mero user and you're fighting someone inside a room, just press CZ and X and you'll get them to half health or below half health extremely quickly. Mera also comes with the 3rd fastest flight skill in the game. It drains less stamina than the gravity flight, and it's faster as well. The other thing I really like about Mera is the Firefly skill. This can be really helpful for farming, especially if you're a low level, because what you can do with Fireflies is you can stand really far away and damage the boss without them detecting you, and so you can just spam that over and over again until the boss dies. It doesn't work with all bosses though. If you try that with NL, he'll teleport to you and you'll get completely destroyed. But also for some bosses, there are some bosses that do detect it because they have a big aggro range, whatever you want to call it. And for example with Buggy, he'll detect it from far away. But what you can do is you can go to a building and then you can literally just spam Fireflies over and over again and he won't be able to do anything to you. One of the 2 methods will work on most bosses. Overall, I think Mera is pretty close to Magma, to be honest. I still think Magu should probably be above because it has higher damage and it's better at block breaking. But Mera, in my opinion, has a better travel move, because I personally prefer a fast flight than being able to walk on water. And overall it's just a really decent Logia. Fireflies has amazing range, the Fire Fist has really good AoE and burning damage, and low cooldown. Overall I'm just going to put it slightly below Magma, so 8.5. When I think about what I did for Tori, oh man. Regret. The regret, man. Trading every Logia for Tori, those words still haunt me to this day. The first thing I don't like about Tori is the fact that you technically only have 2 skills. So the forms, the half form and the full form, both count as skills. And then there's the M1s, the move that allows you to activate talons and then have talon M1s. But that's not really like a skill exactly. I don't know what you'd call that. I just consider that to be an M1. So technically speaking, you only have the fireball attack and the dash attack, whatever it's called. And if you use full form, it's the same thing but a bit stronger. That's basically it. So yeah, first thing I don't like about Tori, basically you have less skills to use, a lot less skills to use compared to other devil fruits. Honestly, the only things I found Tori good for were healing my teammate in 2v2s and that's about it actually. That's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else I found it good for. Yeah, nah, it's just not that special. It might be mythical, but keep your Logias, man. 6.5. Okay, so now let's take a look at a fruit that's actually worth trading a Logia for. So, Gura. Now, Gura, I'm not gonna lie, it's not perfect. For example, when it comes to farming, the E move is good, I guess. The range isn't that great. I mean, it's kind of like an average skill, I'd say. You can use the blast clutcher. But the blast clutcher has really long cooldown. Look at that, jeez. E is basically the only spammable, easy to use thing for farming, because if you try and use R is a counter. You can only use R if you get attacked, so it's kind of useless for farming. It's more a PvP thing. And then you can use Z. You can use Z, but you have to get up close. And with Bazooka NPC, look, I tried using Z right there. As soon as I get attacked, it gets cancelled. So yeah, Z and R are really hard to use in farming and really not practical. And then you're just left with Seaquake, which is good, but it's your ultimate attack, so it will take a lot of stamina and it's not the best. But actually, it doesn't take as much stamina as I thought for an ult. Look, I'm already completely filled back up. 100 stamina for an ult, that's really good. But like all ultimate attacks, the cooldowns are pretty long. So it's not a move you can spam over and over again to help you farm. So yeah, Gura is just kind of, it's alright, it's just kind of meh for farming. It's a completely different story in PvP though, in my opinion at least. I just love using Gura in PvP. Between the head crusher, where if you're able to get up close you can cancel whatever attack they were about to use, and then just combo it with the shock punch. Easy damage. And then there's the epic counter skill where you just press R when you're about to get hit and you'll teleport behind your opponent and then give them a surprise quake punch to the head, which is basically a Big Uno reverse card. And then the Gura waves. The Gura waves are just amazing. They're just great. They take barely any stamina compared to other Devil Fruit ultimate attacks. And also the waves, I'm pretty sure, have the most AoE out of any attack in the game. And if you're fighting someone inside a Colosseum and you keep your distance, like you don't let them counter you, there's basically no way for them to avoid it. And my stamina is doing fine. Gura is also godly in dungeons. You can use the head crusher to pin down bosses and let your teammates get some free hits. The Seaquake is also godly in dungeons. Here we are on wave 24 and it's swarming with NPC. And just like that, 90% of them are dead now. Yeah, Quick is really good for crowd control. Overall, Gura isn't perfect, it's not the best for farming, and it doesn't have a travel skill, but in PvP and dungeons, I've personally found it really helpful, and it's without question the best non-Logia in the game right now. Super easy to use in PvP, great AoE, great damage, and low stamina drains. The only thing that's a bit painful sometimes is the cooldowns, but other than that, it's a pretty solid Paramecia fruit in this game. I'd give it an 8. I think it deserves a good 8. So first of all, Pika is the god of travel. There's no ifs or buts about it. It is the best. It has the fastest travel skill, and if you hit the water, you'll bounce off. And when you stop using the flight, you can use the Yatamira and the light lunge to keep moving forward. And by the time you've done that, the cooldown on your flight will be over and you can keep traveling again. It's also extremely overpowered when it comes to farming. For bosses, all you need to do is stand somewhere high up or trap the boss and then just use the light ray over and over again, and you can drain their HP without being damaged. With light ray you can also complete normal NPC quests in under 20 seconds. All you gotta do is aggro the NPC with light kick, then find somewhere high up to go, and then just kill them all in like 2 seconds with the light ray. Pika is probably the best fruit in the game for farming. Pika is also the best level fruit for ship farming due to its insane range and great burning damage. Here's an example of a Pika user attacking a galleon. And just like that, gone, destroyed. And if you want to argue that Magu is better, it's not. The issue with Magma is the attacks are quite slow and easy to miss. If you use the Magma Fist rain on a galleon while it's all moving about and everything, half of those Magma Fists are all gonna miss anyway. But with Pika you'll never miss unless you have a huge skill issue. And a single light kick can solo a normal ship thanks to the burning damage as well. It's also insanely overpowered in dungeons. For example, here, I did my blast clutcher a little bit too high up, and when you do it too high up, it doesn't work, and then you fall back down and all the NPCs start bullying you. So I was basically screwed here. But, unlike the blast clutcher, the mirror kick doesn't really have a height limit, and it has really big AoE, and it just one-shot the entire crowd of NPC that was attacking me right there. Now that's cool and all, Pika has great range, great damage, it can snipe the bazooka NPC from far, blah blah blah, but that's not the reason why I'm saying it's really good in dungeons. And really good is an understatement. The Jewels of Light can one-shot a boss in like 2.5 seconds. I'm not joking, I'm not making this up. So this happened at wave 15, where the boss spawned, and it died so quickly I wondered if there was a glitch or something, but the Pika user just said, no, I killed it. Yeah, it turns out that if you have a farming build, and the person you're attacking takes the full hit of Jewels of Light, it does like 2,600 damage. And yes, it's also overpowered in PvP. The light lunge is extremely quick and unblockable, and has a very short cooldown, and they can combo that with the light kick, which is pretty hard to avoid because of its AoE, and it does burning damage to you too. The mirror kick attack is also completely busted. They'll teleport upwards so you can't damage them, and then they'll shoot down a beam which also has huge AoE and can't be blocked. Oh, and by the way, if that Jules attack hit me right there and I didn't get her away and hide on that rock, I would have just lost the fight right there. Honestly, when it comes to Pika, there's nothing I'm unhappy about. Like, it's just good at everything. It's good for PvP, it's godly for farming, it's amazing in dungeons. If I want to be really picky, the only thing I'm slightly unhappy about is that in update 1 you could fly island to island no problem, but now they made it drain your stamina really fast. So when I arrive at the island I'm trying to go to, I basically have no stamina left and sometimes I'll drown. But honestly, considering it's the only fruit that allows you to travel island to island that fast, I don't think I deserve to complain. So yeah, this is a very busted Logia fruit, and I think it deserves no less than a 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this very long video. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death, and I'll see you next time. Bye!